Are you ready for some good news? When you're listening to God, you can be sure that His voice will never be condemning. Today's text is from Luke chapter 10. When He has brought out all His own, Jesus said, He goes before them, and the sheep will follow them, for they know His voice. A stranger they will not follow, but they will flee from him, for they do not know the voice of strangers. That's John 10, 4 and 5. We're learning about the God moment I call revealed truth. When you recognize God's leading in your life, you walk with the deep assurance that God is committed to your well-being. He'll correct you, but He'll never condemn you. Dudley Hall once described the difference between condemnation and conviction by evoking the image of trying to navigate through a cluttered room in the dark. Imagine you step into a dark room and you start moving around. Naturally, you bump into a piece of furniture. While your shin is stinging with pain, a voice sounds in the darkness. Don't bump into the furniture, you feel? It remains dark, and slowly you try to move again. For a second time, wham, you bump into the furniture. The voice returns, "You fool, I thought I told you not to bump in the furniture. Can't you do anything right?" And it remains dark. Well, that's the voice of condemnation. It's a shaming voice that demoralizes without offering hope. It's a critical voice that demeans but offers no solution. And it's the voice of hell itself. God's voice is entirely different. He'll correct you, but when He does, it's a gift. The conviction of the Holy Spirit is laden with hope. Imagine walking into the same dark room full of furniture. You take a step and whack, you hurt your shin. And a voice speaks, "You don't need to bump into furniture. There's a better way." Suddenly a light turns on and you can see your way. Now, that's the voice of heaven. God speaks to His children. When we err, He corrects. But He does so as a loving Father who wants the very best for His children. As you contemplate the ways that God has spoken to you, remember the moments of conviction. You can always tell the difference between the voice of God and the voice of the accuser, because God's voice is hopeful and the enemy's voice is condemning. God's conviction will always draw you closer to Him and fill you with confidence so you can walk in the light. The voice of hell will drive you away from God and leave you in the darkness. If you belong to God, you can recognize His voice of hope, and that's the gospel. That's today's daily devotional, and if you missed this really important radio message, then I encourage you to go get it. You can get it in its entirety for free at sharingthelight.org.